right, wrestling fans, welcome back to the Hexxagon. I'm Alistair Hex, your host here with none other than Lonnie Valdez. Lonnie,
Hello.
how are we doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we are here to capture Lonnie's unique story. As you know, my ongoing series, catching up with wrestlers and basically what brought them to the world of wrestling. So Lonnie, we like to get started with finding out where wrestling began with you.
Began really early. So my uncle was actually a local wrestler out here in Denver for like 3-4 years, wrestling for a guy named Champ Thomas, like local shows, like basically indies before the indies.
Okay.
So I grew up listening to him tell stories, watching it on TV whenever they babysit me, that kind of thing. So I grew up watching it, very much in the mix of it. And I started martial arts when I was 8. I did that for a long time, and then when I got out of high school, my mom kind of let me know. She was like, "Okay, are you gonna be a boxer? Or are you gonna be a wrestler?" Like, she didn't ask me what college I wanted to go to or like what career path I wanted to take. She kind of knew it was gonna be one of those two things. So
She understood the aim.
yeah, pretty
Fair
much.
enough.
She saw how passionate I was about martial arts, and there was no MMA at that time, so it was like one of the two. So I told her I wanted to be a pro wrestler, and she told me to find a school, and that's how I ended up going to Florida and training with Dory Funk.
That's really awesome. So a lot of support from your parents then.
Yeah. My mom was on board with it. She paid for my wrestling education, so that was nice.
That's really cool.
And then I ended up going to college because of wrestling. They told me, if you want to be a pro wrestler, it's like any other job. You have to have a resume. It's nice to have a college education on your resume for any big wrestling job and stuff like that. So I ended up going to college anyway.
Wow. Okay. Well, and so what did you go to college for?
Sports industry operations, and I minored in business.
Okay. So kind of both sides of wrestling then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, I could run a gym if I wanted to. Like, I could be a GM at a gym. That's basically what my degree is about. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is that something that you maybe are considering later on? Lonnie's gym?
No, I've never really I business wise, yeah, I'd use my business education more than I would use the sports industry operations, unless I wanted to open up a wrestling school or take some along those lines.
Yeah.
But I'd have to finish my degree. I didn't actually finish it, so I got about a year left. So that's definitely a option I do want to consider at some point. But right now, I'm doing pretty good. So
yeah, well, and wrestling's definitely happy to have you back. The pop that you received on your return was amazing, and it is honestly so great to have you back. You're coming after some pretty heavy names, though, right off the bat. There, I think Duke is in your scope, maybe. Absolutely. Yeah. And then, what are you thinking outside of that? Do you have any other opponents that you'd like to face now that you're back?
I basically want to face the top guys and like the big heavyweights. That's kind of what I'm coming back for. Like, I felt like when I was gone, a lot of people kind of took it for granted and kind of saw me like, okay, like he's injured now. It's not the top of the card, not the main event guy anymore. So I came back with a purpose to make a statement, and what better way to make a statement than to beat up all the guys that everybody's afraid of, right?
Yeah.
Like, take the Kaiju Hunter thing very seriously, and the fact that like everybody runs away from these heavyweights. I'm the guy they're running away from.
I don't need to know you. You only need to know me.
I'm saying? So like I've been that guy for a long time. I've never backed down or stayed away from facing the big guys, the monsters. That's kind of how I built my name out here, how I built my reputation was by, going up against those guys. Even when I was 155 pounds, I was, at the time, I don't know if it's true anymore because it's been so long, but like at the time I was the smallest heavyweight champion in Colorado history. Okay. And, I was beating up true heavyweights, 300-pounders to get that. So, like, I just need to get back to that, let all these guys know that, yeah, I'm still the guy I was before I got injured, and what better way to do that than to make a name and make a statement by doing what I've always done, beating up big, giant heavyweights.
Oh, absolutely. Statement you definitely made. I think the whole world was shocked when you turned on Duke there a little bit, but I know I was. I did not see that coming. But no, I mean, it looks great. And so walk us through, I mean, people that may not know, what was the injury? What happened? How did it come about?
So in August 2024, I was wrestling in Colorado Springs against Papa Lipto.
Okay. I
did a moonsault to the outside and I missed him, and I hit the concrete and I broke my femur. So like right here at the top of the femur, right in a very difficult spot to heal. I had emergency surgery the next day. I was in the hospital for 5 days. They put a titanium rod in my leg. It goes all the way down to my knee. So I was I was in PT. I was recovering from that for like 5 months before I was able to like start to do gym time. I was still on crutches. Basically took me an entire year to come back and be 100% and get clearance. So once I did that, I started getting back in the ring, started wrestling again, and made my return to Lucha Libre and Labs, and then made my return to CWC.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I think with your, trajectory, you're going to definitely have a lot of like main event worthy matches, let alone coming after, the different titles that you've already stated. Do you feel like maybe Niles Blood is on your radar a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm, thing about me is like, I don't agree with having like 50 titles in a territory. Like, there's one champion on a card, whoever's main eventing, whoever's closing the show.
Okay.
The rest of the titles, I feel are like participation trophies. Like if everybody has one, they're not really that important. So I would love to be able to unify everything. Just take everybody's title and put them together. Young Dragon's title, the Heritage title, whatever other title, Chad comes up with. I'll beat up the women too. I don't care. Like
Clean sweep.
I will. I'm a fan of like unifying everything. Like to me, like me being in the main event for so long, I have the respect for the guy who closes the show, and that's the champion to me. So like when I'm, whether it be CWC or CSW or Lucha Libre Laughs or whatever, like yeah, I want the title. Like I'm not looking for any secondary belts or anything like that. And Niles Blood is one of those guys. Niles Blood can get it too.
And I mean, I've said it on the channel before. Wrestling is not fake. You're talking about your injury that you're recovering from. Bruce was talking about a tooth that he got knocked out from. Bobby Lashley, I think, is who did that. But I mean, there's a long, authentic history here in Colorado that I don't think a lot of people know about. And when you stepped into the wrestling scene, what did it look like?
It was completely different than it is now. Like it was a bunch of guys who've had some training here and there, just running shows, promoting shows, and doing the best that we could. Like, I'm not going to say I was any better than them. Like, I was very young. I was only like 19 when I started wrestling out here. And we were just basically playing it by ear, just kind of making it up as we went along. A lot of guys wearing T-shirts, a lot of guys wearing stuff from Hot Topic, not a lot of professional wrestling gear, a lot of guys that were out of shape. I was a skinny little 155-pound guy running around with a T-shirt on, looking like a lost Hardy brother. So it was, that's kind of the scene it was out here. It wasn't as professional, as polished as it is now. Like now, a guy not wearing professional gear it's the exception, not the rule. Back then, you saw a guy wear professional gear, you were just like, where did you get that? Because there was like 4 people who made wrestling gear. Oh, okay. Now it's everywhere. So it was a lot different scene. But the crowds were also bigger at the time because wrestling as a whole was popular. This is right at the end of the Attitude Era. Okay. So it was, a whole different kind of mix. Now Lucha Libre and Laughs is the company that's selling out, every show, 600 people plus. Yeah. And you see other companies are doing 200, 300, that kind of thing. Yeah. Back then, like all the shows were doing like 500, 600 people. And so even though the product wasn't as good as it is now, wrestling as a whole was more popular, so you were selling more tickets and doing more things. But yeah, there's a huge history here in Colorado, but for a long time wrestling, we all called it the black hole of professional wrestling because we're right in the center of the country. So like a lot of us wouldn't get booked in the bigger companies because it costs money to fly you from Colorado to Florida, Colorado to New York, Colorado to California. So it was a lot of those companies would use guys that were local to that area or cheaper to transport. So like a lot of the good wrestlers out here in Colorado didn't really get the look, I think Sam Udell or Dak Draper was one of the first guys that really got that attention flowing. That was just like, because he was so big, athletic and everything like that, that WWE took a chance on him and hired him and moved him to Florida and all that other stuff. But it wasn't available, especially for guys my size. We weren't popular at the time. So, that was a time in WWE where they were hiring, Batista and Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio and Jinder Mahal. Those guys are huge. They're massive guys. So a guy my size, 5'8", 175 pounds, you wouldn't look like much next to him. So WWE would hire like 1 or 2 guys like that, like Spanky or Dan O'Brien or Matt Airborne. Right. So like you would get a few of them, but that was the exception, not the rule, So it was being out here in Colorado, it was like a black hole. Like even though there was good wrestling happening, even though there was a lot of people coming up and we were getting better and better and better, it was, kind of going ignored by like most of the nation. You just didn't hear a lot coming out from Colorado because, you never saw guys break through to that level,
Yeah, and I think we were still a few years away from things like the cruiserweight division, TJ Perkins, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That didn't come around for a while. Like now, it's not uncommon to see, like Dan O'Brien's a big example of that. Like not uncommon to see a guy my size, wrestling main events. Adam Cole and MJF main event at the biggest show in AEW
So
history.
good. Yeah.
And Adam's smaller than me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I met Adam in when I wrestled out for Ring of Honor.
Oh, cool.
So like very nice guy, super nice guy. Gave me some good advice.
Yeah.
But like now it's you could see that. Back then you couldn't. It wasn't gonna happen, you know.
Yeah. And now here you are tackling heavyweights as you go.
Yep. Now I'm hunting them.
There you are.
Yeah.
So take us back to your first championship win.
My first title, I was wrestling for a company called RMCW, Rocky Mountain Championship Wrestling here in Colorado, and I won the cruiserweight championship.
Wow.
They actually invented that title for me and my friends. Myself, Epic, Trajan, we're some of the best wrestlers in the territory.
Okay.
And we were kind of having the best matches on the card anyway, and so they invented a title for us to compete for exclusively. And it became popular. We became like the most popular act on the show, so much so that like they were like, well, we can't do that. They tried to split us up to make us wrestle more heavyweights. So like Epic would wrestle one guy, I'd wrestle one guy, Trajan would wrestle one guy, and it got to the point where we were still the most popular guys. So they unified all the titles, and my second championship was the Rocky Mountain Unified Heavyweight title. So like I went from being the Cruiserweight champion to being the Rocky Mountain Unified Heavyweight champion, just because me and my friends were the most popular guys on the card. So it was kind of, you either put us in the main event or you make main eventers follow us, and nobody wanted to follow us. So
Oh, well, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, if they knew where their place was on the card, then I guess.
pretty much, yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, that's awesome, though. So your first championship, did you hold that one for a while?
Held it for 8 months.
8 months.
I
Okay.
believe that one was 8 months. Yeah. The Cruiserweight title, I held it for 5 months before Epic beat me for it.
Okay.
And then the heavyweight title, my first main event title, I held that for 8 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you stayed with, I'm sorry, the promotion's name again?
Rocky Mountain Championship Wrestling.
Rocky Mountain Championship. And you stayed with them for a while?
Stayed with them for a long time. That's where I started training wrestlers. I trained Epic, I trained Trajan, I trained Johnny Crash, who still wrestles out here. Caleb Crush, who still wrestles out here. So I trained all them guys, and even though we were kind of the same age, like I was kind of their trainer. And then stayed with them, and then we broke off from them. We formed our own company called Saga, the Striking and Grappling Aerialists, and we ran our own company for about 4 or 5 years, while wrestling for other people, but mainly for us. I was just mainly like exploring new options with different companies. So that was one of the first times I wrestled for a company called BPW, which mainly operates up north, but they were operating in Colorado Springs for that one show.
Okay.
And so I was supposed to wrestle Caleb Crush, but Caleb was injured or absent for whatever reason, so they subbed him for Apocalypto.
Okay.
And I was just exploring new options with new companies, just kind of taking new bookings and stuff like that. Usually I'm very kind of selective about my bookings. I only wrestle for a couple companies and that. But I was exploring and trying new things, and I just happened to be wrestling for them that night. And I wasn't particularly going after a title. I was mainly trying to make an impact on my first show there.
Oh, okay.
And so, we were having a really good match. Things were going really well. And then just that particular venue was very dark. And when I went up, I went into the lights that they did have, and I couldn't see him from behind me, and he couldn't see me. I got lost in the lights. So I missed him, and he missed me. And
No catching at all.
Yeah, so from what I understand, I had never seen the tape. I don't want to see the tape. From what I understand, Lipto was standing there like this, and he's got that mask, so he couldn't see me anyway. And so like he's standing there like this, and I just fell right next to him. And just snapped on my femur.
Man, at least you tried to land on your feet.
I mean, I would have if I would have saw the floor. But that venue is black walls. It's a concert venue, so it's black walls, black floor. The ropes were black. It was a dark venue, so like it was just a bad calculation on my part. So yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, it happens, right?
It's
And a lot
part
of
of the
wrestlers say the injury, exactly, they're part of the business. And a lot of wrestlers say their injuries, they kind of maybe give them a little bit of clarity, a little bit of perspective. Like, do you feel like you reconsidered wrestling on your injury?
Oh no.
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 Not at all.
I
Okay.
did a promo for Lucha Libre Laughs because I called Nick up, and I was like, "Hey, I want to cut a promo on the next show." He's like, "Yeah, you got 5 minutes. Done."
Just didn't even take a break. Just came right back.
So I I injured myself in August, and then I did the promo in October, and I was limped out there on crutches. During the promo, I was like, "Yeah, I got injured. This is what happened. They told me that my career might be over. I might never wrestle again." I was like, "And I'm here to tell all of you to your face that the person who told me that can suck my dick." And then the whole audience started chanting, "Suck his dick, suck his dick." Do you know B Raves?
Yeah, B. Yeah.
She was one of the people screaming that, and so like they chanted that, so it made me feel really good. I was like, I don't care what it takes. I'm coming back here and I'm wrestling. Like, I don't care what it takes. I'll be back. And yeah, it took me a year to get back, but I did. So
yeah, me and B already have a pretty thorough history of attempting to get her car back from Danger Dean. Hi, B. But yeah, so as you're pursuing, I mean, you're in your injury, how long did it take you to heal fully?
to fully heal, it took me the full year.
The full year?
Yeah,
Okay.
like I was off crutches within like 6 months, but I was still limping around doing everything. I still wasn't like at the place I need to be in order to wrestle. Definitely not at the place I need to be to wrestle my style of match and at my level, you know? Because I didn't want to come back and be just another guy or just, you know, one of the other dudes. Like, no, I'm coming back to make an impact. I'm coming back to be the main event guy again. You know, I'm coming back to wrestle the top guys and not just be, you know, an also around in that area. Like, this is my territory. It's been my territory forever.
Absolutely.
So like, I'm not coming back to be less than Lonnie Valdez. So that's what I was coming back for with that intention. So it took me a full year to get back to that area because one leg was noticeably smaller than the other one. I had to work out to the point where like I actually looked symmetrical again because it was such a bad injury, you know. So
It sounds terrible.
yeah, it was not fun, but it's what I had to do. And yeah, it gave me a little bit of clarity as far as what I wanted to do and how important this was for me. And like, yeah, nothing's going to stop me from getting back there. So it took a lot of time and a lot of PT, a lot of pain, and a lot of physical exertion to be able to get there.
Yeah, it sounds like you kept your eyes on the prize, made your way back. That's awesome.
When I was able to get back into the ring or get back into the gym, I was 211 pounds. I'd gained quite a bit of weight because I was immobile for 3 months. I was laying on my back in bed, not being able to move. It took me 15 minutes to go take a piss. You know what I'm saying?
Ouch.
So like, it took me a long time. So I gained a lot of weight. It was 211 pounds. And in 8 months, I was able to drop 29 pounds of body fat. I gained 8 pounds of muscle mass, and I was ready to get back in the ring. So, like I said, at that point, I was in my head stubborn, like nothing's going to stop me from getting back in that fucking ring to do what I got to do, you know?
There it is. And I mean, if you have a goal in mind and this is something you're obviously passionate about, so I'm glad you were able to make it back. That's awesome. Yeah. But not just Colorado Springs. Sounds like, you know, Triple L as well as RMP. It sounds like wherever Lonnie can get around, we're going to take down heavyweights. We're going to earn championships.
Yeah.
And then do you hope to leave anything, I guess, for the next generation of wrestlers, you know, that are coming up? Like, do you work with the younger guys? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I try to as often as possible. Sometimes real life gets in the way and I can't get to the butcher shop, which is where I train guys. But, you know, everywhere, like not only here in Wyoming too, I'm still the Wyoming champion for SXPW.
Okay.
They haven't ran in a couple of years, so while I was inactive, I was still a champion.
Forever champion.
Forever. Yeah, but I'm hoping they start up again. The promoter up there is a good guy by the name of Sean O'Reilly, and I know he's trying to get things going again. So I would love to be able to do that again. But no, I've always been able to be a trainer and help next gen. You know what I'm saying? I was helping a guy named Michael Avalon right now, who's doing really good things here in Colorado. He's just starting out his career. Silencio is one of my students. Chance Smith is one of my students. You know, I was able to train Cody Devine, Johnny Crash, Royce Isaacs. I'm also actively trying to help, you know, younger students, younger wrestlers as much as I can. Because, yeah, like Royce is doing amazing things. He just wrestled for CMLL down in Mexico. They just dropped the NJPW Strong Championships, him and Jarrell Nelson.
Wow. Okay.
So like, he's doing that, also wrestling actively for New Japan as well. Just all the way around, just one of the best wrestlers in the world, in my opinion. And I was very helpful. Very grateful I was able to, you know, give him a helping hand and start him off. You know, he's done amazing since then. But yeah, I think I'll always have a way to train wrestlers, even after I'm done in the ring.
Yeah.
Like, I'll always be active in the training community. Like, I really enjoy helping young wrestlers come up and learn and get better and try to open up doors and give them opportunities. So anything I can leave behind to wrestling, that'll be it. The students that I've actually helped and actively given a hand to, you know. So I'm always happy to do that and do as much as I can to leave the territory better than I found it. And I think I've been, if I'm gonna, you know, brag about myself in one way, it's that I did that, you know. Because when I came out here, my style was not really approved or liked in a big way. Like, I was told many times, you know, slow it down, don't do this, you know, you're leaving too much in the ring, like, you know, you don't wrestle that catch as catch can fast, you know, reverse cruiserweight independent style. Like, that wasn't really, you know, that cruiserweight style, that wasn't really looked upon in a favorable light. Now everybody does it. So like, I'm really happy that I was able to kind of make that style more popular out here, because I was one of the first guys to actually do that. And so, yeah, my generation and the couple of guys, myself, Trajan Epic, a few other guys that have come and gone, made that style popular out here, and now everybody does, and not only cruiserweights but heavyweights as well. So like being able to see that transition, I'm very happy that I played my part in that and making that style more popular out here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's really awesome, and I think that leaving that imprint will always, resonate, and you'll start to see echoes of your style throughout. I think that's legacy right there. I think that's important.
No, it's been a big deal to be able to do that. Seeing guys like younger guys like Austin Logan being able to go out there and wrestle that high flying, lots of kick stuff.
Lonnie, last question for you. Just go ahead and walk me through a day in the life at an actual event. How do you get there? What does that look like? And how do you wind down?
I'm one of the guys who likes to show up. I'll show up early, meet a couple of the guys, talk to whoever I got to talk to, figure out kind of what we're doing that night. Like I used to help set up, do the ring, put up the ring and all that other stuff. I'll still help do that every now and then, but we've got plenty of young boys out here that need to pay dues, so I kind of step out of their way and let them do do all that stuff.
Very nice of you.
Yeah, you got to pay your dues in this business, and I did it for a long time, so I kind of step back. Still do it every now and then just to show kids that you never grow out of that.
Okay.
But it is what it is. Kind of do a lay of the land. I always do like a walk around the venue, even venues I've wrestled at 1,000 times. The Oriental Theater where we wrestle literally relax. I still walk the venue and look at all the different angles where every fan's going to be able to see me perform, so I know where I can hit my best moves and do everything like that. It's a tradition that I still do. Any venue, any wrestling show I go to, I always try to pay attention to, where are the worst seats. Let me see that angle so that I know that fan is still getting a good show. When I'm performing and doing my big stunts or whatever, I try to make sure I'm doing it from a position where everybody can see it.
Yeah.
Still have my good luck routines and all that other stuff. Still talk to the same guys. Want to commiserate a little bit with my friends and who I know backstage, all of that other stuff. Go out there, perform, do the best we can. Be as safe as we can. Make sure everybody goes home safe. That's always the number one goal. And provide a good, good entertainment for the fans. Make sure they get their money's worth. Always a good thing. Make them want to come back to see the next show. Right. That's the main goal. After safety, and then just wind down, man. Break down. Start. Wait for the sweat to clear so you can take off your pants and not have them stuck to your body.
Are you a diner with the guys kind of person, or maybe go home, have a beer? What do you think?
No, I definitely, if the opportunity comes up to go hang out with the guys afterwards, I'm always down for that. It's always good to get some pizza or some wings or whatever. Go to IHOP or Village Inn or whatever diner they choose to be at. Always love to do that. That's a big part of the business, and I highly encourage everybody, if you're going to be relevant in wrestling, make sure to make time to be part of that as well, because that's where a lot of the lessons get learned. Especially after a show, like myself, even to this day, I'm still going, well, I could have done this better, I could have done that better, I wish I would have done this a little bit earlier. Now we have video technology, you can sit there and watch the match, and if you're a young person and you want to learn, sit next to the guy watching this match, and he'll be like, oh man, I messed that up, or I could do that better, I should have timed that a little bit better, I wish I would have put that move a little bit later in the match. That's a great opportunity to learn. So that kind of being on the road with the guys, listening to the veterans, that's a big helpful hint to give to the young people. Like, yes, get in there, learn as much, ask more questions. A real veteran will never mind you asking a ton of questions. I appreciate when young people ask me questions. Like, please, let me explain.
Great to hear.
Yeah, because you want them to learn from you and not go out there and fuck up in the ring and like maybe get themselves hurt or something like that.
Not to learn the wrong way.
Exactly. So like, diner afterward, I'm definitely that kind of guy. If I can do that, I definitely will every single time, just to be around the boys and be around the guys. That's 95% of wrestling is like what goes on outside of the shows. And that's where you learn your best lessons. So even at this stage of my career, doing this for 26 years, I'm still like to learn, especially because the business is constantly changing. So you also have to change with it and learn the new things that are happening. You don't want to fall behind. The wrestling business, like the tech industry, if you're not staying current with it, you're behind. You
gotta be sociable with that.
Yeah, so learning from your peers, even like 26 years in, is still very important to me. So afterwards, diner, and then head home, take a long shower, and then go off to bed.
Hey, there's nothing better than that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans, I've been here with the fans' addiction, Lonnie Valdez. Thank you so much for joining me, bud.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You guys have a good night.